Hey, I'm Brigham.
I'm Jen.
And this is Greg. And today on the Friday Forge, we're going to be making D&D style coasters.
Let me fly towards my hands, towards my hands.
So Brigham's been hard at work designing really cool coaster design for you guys. If any of you are a fan of D&D, we've got one coaster for each of the, is it classes?
Yeah, classes.
Guess who knows a lot about D&D. So we've got one coaster for each of the classes, 12 different designs, and we decided to bring those to life today.
So we have them for sale on our Etsy page. So you can go over and buy them and make them along with us. You could do some of our ideas. But basically, we are going to do a competition to see who's the best. Did you already say that?
Oh, you're saying
I forget what you said.
We're going to have a competition. Each of us are going to make 4 of these coasters.
Yep.
In a different style.
And a different class. And see whose is the best. And you guys can even vote yourselves and tell us which one you think is the best. It will probably be Jen's. Anyway, the rules are that it's got to be done with the design, obviously. And secondly, you got to use the Glowforge. Other than that, sky's the limit. Let's do it.
So for my 4, what I think I'm going to
What
do
Greg's
is...
going to do for his 4 is he's going to start with the leather. And
I'm going to double up on leather. I like the idea of leather coasters, and leather's pretty thin, so I thought, what can I do to be lazy and continue with leather? And I'm actually going to do a cork backing. So we'll have the leather on top, cut out and etched using cork on the bottom as a stopgap. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I'm going to use epoxy pour, and we'll make one using wood as well. So I think that would be cool to add color into it, where with wood, it's just kind of plain outside of stain. So if you add epoxy, makes it better. Finally, we'll be using slate. I got these from Pure One Imports, I think. They're probably cheaper somewhere else. They'll never go there. But impulse buys are fun, and so I think engraving on slate will be a lot of fun. So we'll see how that goes.
this one, we're going to do the Sorcerer. And it's going to have the bottom layer be regular wood color and the top layer will be walnut. And I'm just going to keep it super simple. When I first designed it, this is what I had in mind. You guys are in for a treat. What are we doing also today?
Procrasticrafting.
What does that mean?
I don't want to do any of the coasters, so I'm doing everything else.
I really did have to twist her arm to do coasters. But just you wait, hers are going to be the best coasters of all of them.
It's just we've had all these decorations sitting in a pile in the office for so long, so I should just hang them on the wall now, so they'll be in the video and out of the way.
Yeah, we're just going to put up all of our decorations. Woohoo!
And now for the finishing touch. Ta-da! It's my office.
That looks so good.
It's some random people
are
from the
these?
store. Now I have my paint by diamond thing I'm putting in. It's my
that's
cow. Yeah, I should show you my cow. But this was a present from our 4-year-old, 5-year-old. That's from Fiona the Hippo at Cincinnati Zoo. This is because I'm a boy mom and I deserve girl things. And this is a list of all the people I care about. Just kidding. That has unlimited potential and I have no idea what it's going to be yet. I have 4 designs ready to go, 4 ideas. They're not very good ideas. We'll see how it goes. My very first thought was the only time I've ever played D&D, I made a character that was a druid, a cute little halfling druid. She was so cute. So I instantly went to like nature-y things and I thought, okay, I'm gonna snap the druid design and I'm gonna try an epoxy coaster. and fill it with like bark or flowers or leaves or something really cool, and then engrave on top of that. Well, epic fail, you cannot apparently laser epoxy because you will die. Don't laser epoxy. But I had the idea to take some acrylic and engrave the acrylic and stick it in the epoxy. That whole idea is going to be a massive experiment, but this is the one I'm most looking forward to, is my cool Druid epoxy coaster. I got these molds from the craft store. I think they were at Michael's for like $17 or something, so we're gonna try that. My other idea, super basic, just plain glass coaster. These are on Amazon. I think it's like 20 bucks for a box of 20 or 24 or something like that. So I'm really looking forward to all the things we can do with this because glass edge is really good. We'll just leave it plain white, I think. Another experiment, I got these ceramic tiles. Have not ever tried engraving tile before, so this will be totally new. These were at Home Depot for like 20-30 cents a piece, something like that. If we can get these to work, they'll be really cool, and we'll just throw some little like felt feet on the bottom. My idea for the tile is to actually do some hand painting. We'll try to see if I am any good at painting. Lastly, just plain wood one. I got these at Marshall's for like $7, and I think they were at Marshall's because they're not actually square. They're kind of goofy looking, but it kind of gives it some characters. We're gonna try to see if we can embrace the cool character of this wood and do something epic on there. Wish me luck.
I'm going to be doing a barbarian, and on the bottom layer I'm going to be using the dark walnut, and for the top layer we'll just use our normal piece of wood here, and then we'll pour some
I'm also going to be using this for my top layer on one of mine, and also the bottom layer that I'm going to be pouring the UV resin. What were you saying?
I guess it's all that's what we're going to do.
Glowforge is done. We made our Druid piece of acrylic. This is going to be, I thought it might be the base, but I think it's actually going to be the top of our acrylic. I found out that this mold has a little ridge around the top. Should have noticed that before I bought it, but I wasn't paying that close attention. So our acrylic epoxy, our epoxy is going to have a little bit of a ridge around the top of the coaster. So we're going to do it face down, and then I think I'm gonna fill the edges and maybe sprinkle a little bit of this gold leafing in the edges. Put a little bit, a layer of epoxy there. We'll put our acrylic in there, fill a little more epoxy, and then we'll just fill the rest of the empty space with an assortment of maybe some of these pressed flowers. These were just at Michael's in their UV resin section. I also got some moss because it was really cheap on sale. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna have some cool naturey druid stuff, and hopefully the gold gives us a little bit of magic too.
All right, so next we're also going to do, continuing on with our classes, this time we're going to do with leather. We're going to do one that will just be etched using the monk class. And then we're going to do another one with fighter where we're going to actually cut through with the leather and we're going to put it on the back of this cork coaster here as well. So let's see how that comes out. We cut out the leather here. Came out pretty well. However, for our fighter, yeah, not so much. Brigham in his infinite wisdom forgot to do a cut line on the pass when we initially did it. And then we decided to take it out, and we took it out, and it didn't cut out the fine details. So we put it back in, and it is misaligned. And as you can see, we have some epic burn marks. But let's see how it turns out, because it might actually look pretty decent. They're happy little accidents.
Okay, time for the glass coaster. I'm really excited about this because it's just going to be simple and straightforward, and usually glass engraves solid white. I was looking at the designs and I decided to go with the wizard design because it's magical, it's simple. I think it's going to look really good. Why is it gray?
This one is going to be acrylic on the top layer and then walnut on the bottom layer. I'm hoping that you can see the walnut really good through the acrylic, and we'll see how it turns out.
So I'm going to make a paladin out of this slate here. And I actually think that will actually look pretty nice just etched. Alright, so we just finished up my favorite personal class of paladin on our slate coaster. So let's see how it turned out. Not too shabby. It actually turned out really well. I think the gray on the slate is really well. And we could have gotten these lines more defined. You could raise your resolution, but there's something to be said for having a rough look, especially for D&D where it's more rough and tumble.
Time to do my ranger coaster. The ranger design is really cool. It has these cool awesome knives and this paw print guy. Since it's kind of like a wilderness hunty type of character, I decided to just do the plain wood and just kind of make it look raw and natural and just go simple. You guys. So I mean, okay, the raw, natural thing turned out really cool, but it went off center. And I'm just so sad about it. I know that my husband has the skills to go take it on the saw and cut the edges off or center it out and sand it. I don't know. I don't have this kind of skill. So I think we're just gonna lose some points on this one. I think it looks really awesome. If it was in the middle, it would have been even better. But also you can tell this thing is not even evenly shaped. It's kind of wider on this side. It's a lot thicker on this side than it is on the others. So it's a really wonky one to start with, but I'm really disappointed that it's not finished. So fail for me. Boo.
All right, we're gonna do the cleric. So I'm just gonna use this plain old coaster, same one that Jen is using. and I'm just going to engrave it. I'm going to add some gold and silver leafing at the end of it, and I hope that that kind of gives it a, I don't know, a little bit extra from just having the regular engraving.
For my last coaster, ceramic tiles. So I thought it'd be really cool to engrave on these. Maybe we'll try some hand painting. We're gonna pretend like I'm an artist. Not an artist, but we'll see if we can make it cool. I don't know. So we're gonna try to learn from our mistakes with this bad boy. It got so off-centered. We figured out that if we can kind of center the tile directly under the camera, chances of our design shifting on us go down pretty good. So we're gonna try that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. Okay, I know you can barely see it on the camera, but this is like a perfect engraving. It's perfectly centered. Look at that. So we're gonna paint that and it should just kind of wipe off the excess just fine.
All right, so let's see if we get a happy little accident. Looking at it, I honestly don't have too much promise.
Smudging the black.
I am smudging. Oh, it's from yeah. Well,
from the actual
here's the
engraving.
thing. Here's the thing, people. Mileage may vary with the leather that you're going to use.
This is my epoxy coaster from yesterday. Has the acrylic sheet inside that's engraved and the flowers and the gold flakes, and it's been not quite 24 hours, maybe like 20 hours or something, so it's time to reveal.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
That is sick.
So definitely not perfect. There's
Sure,
lots
it's
of
freaking
bubbles, but this was my very first epoxy job.
Okay.
Actually, all look really good. I'm actually impressed.
Not too shabby.
They all turned out, for the most
Not
part.
a single one of mine went to plan. This one's super off-center. This one dried way too fast. This one came out kind of gray instead of white, which I suspect is from the masking we put on it. The masking kind of flamed while it was
That very well could be.
so it turned gray. And then this one, it just works better with ink, so I just did Sharpie, which I just had to kind of use what I had on hand. My whole vision was very like intricate, all
Still
these cool
awesome.
colors and patterns and stuff, you know, but I just had that purple Sharpie, so.
Either way,
That's what we got.
they look really good. Mine didn't all really go to plan either. This one I was hoping to have a more clear adhesion, but the adhesive that I used was just frosty, so it frosted the whole thing. But it looks good still. It still is clear, it's translucent at least, so you can still see the wood grains behind it. This one is just your standard. It's just gonna look good no matter what. Just wood on wood with a light wood on the bottom layer and a dark wood on the top. This one, haven't done it
You get
yet.
points off.
I didn't
Deduction
finish
of
it.
points.
It'll be
Points off
done by
for
the
not
time we
finishing
list
in
this.
time.
Yeah.
What's the plan for that one?
I think I want to do silver leafing on this part and then gold leafing on the outside. And then we'll leave this just the dark engraved. I think it looks really good that way. And this one, I tried that UV resin, and I think I want to do a few more layers of it. It does harden. I think it just needs more time under the UV light, and I want to fill them all up to the top just so that it's level.
I got sabotaged. So it's just really what happens is it comes down to Brigham's fault for leading me astray.
So what happens is... Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Continue. What did you do to ruin me?
This leather is just really weird leather. It's soft, so it's not veg tan leather like we usually use. So the top of it is like fuzzy almost. And so when it came to actually peeling the masking off, it wouldn't peel off very well.
And it ripped even part of the leather, the top of the leather off.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's just a bad choice of leather for this kind of application.
Yeah, I think it would look good without it. I mean, the corking on the back, I think shows through really well. And it's a nice texture. I actually really like it. I think it looks good. And then we thought this would work out, but it's just a blob now. It's too much ash.
Yeah.
We could have prevented that by cleaning it off before removing the masking tape and put a sealant on it. That would have stopped it, but whatever. And then this one, I used stain on it, which honestly it defeats the purpose because I used dark walnut on the back. So kind of silly, but we used red dye for the epoxy, and I think it looks really good. But the best one, in my opinion, for me is the slate.
Yeah, it looks so good.
I would have never thought about it had I not already owned one at home. The gray comes out perfect, and I actually would probably do a whole set of slate.
And it was the easiest one.
Yeah, set it and forget it.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
As long as you get it lined up right.
Yeah, that's
I think the slate might win it for today.
I don't know.
I don't know. Your epoxy, the
Look at
acrylic,
that.
and the glass one, even the wood one. You don't have one that's flawed.
They're all flawed.
Flawed by the practice, but I don't think flawed by the execution.
So, if you go to Etsy and buy the design, you should let us know what you do with it. In fact, you could probably send us an email,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. thefridayforge@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you sent us an email with a picture of what you did with it, that'd be awesome. We'd love to see that.
Yeah, well, and if you post them on Instagram, we'll repost for you as well. We definitely want to see what you guys do.
Thanks for watching.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, give us your money.
One day we'll make money.
Yeah.
I figure it's a...
I feel weird about this.
Probably turned off halfway. It's probably like 15 minutes of nonsense.
You ready to go?
Just
Yeah, we're rolling.
It's so bad. It's even worse on video. So shall we reshoot that?
No.
My kids love Frozen and I hate it. Oh, it's such a terrible movie. I'm not gonna say, no, you can't watch it, but my goodness. Like, can we all be just adults and stick with Moana? Away, away. It's the only good song, to be honest with you. So, you know, you watch the ending of Tangled and it's like somebody dies. And it's fantastic. And it's the end of Moana and it's like, oh, your feelings are hurt. I'm so sorry. Here's your heart. Feel better. Oh, and Encanto. Ugh. Oh, Grandma just doesn't understand. She's so outdated. Doesn't she know that we need to be more understanding of people's not having abilities? What else could I do? We watched the original Little Mermaid the other day. 1992 must have been a bad year for artists because there is no detail. Like the ship, they just did the outline of a ship and that was it. They were like on strike or something.